Welcome into Jungle Tales, a Pirate Baseball podcast on deck for East Carolina this weekend. It's a conference series with the FAU Owls. The Owls traveling to Clark LeClaire Stadium. And right now, I'm very excited to be joined by their longtime head coach, a guy that's been associated with this program or one way or another, for 3.5 decades. Welcome in a longtime FAU coach, John McCormack. John, we appreciate your time today.
How you doing?
Doing well. So your team, you're off to a 19-9 start at the midway point of the season, 2-4 in the American after a disappointing weekend at UTSA. But first of all, just before we dive into any of the specifics, your thoughts on the first half of the season.
I thought overall we played pretty well. As you mentioned, last weekend the UTSA was a extreme disappointment. There's ups and downs in every season, and it started at Florida Gulf Coast. We lost the 3-2 game, which I don't want to say we never should have lost. We should have had a better effort. And then UTSA, we had the lead in every game going into the sixth, and just couldn't hold it. We didn't make the plays when we needed to make them, and we didn't get the hits when we needed to get them after the sixth on, which is, kind of disturbing. But all in all, not bad so far.
Looking over the numbers, for your team, very impressive team batting average of 308. You're near the top of the league in home runs like East Carolina is. You've hit 33 bombs, and then also you're pitching it pretty well, at least by the numbers it appears, and also a solid fielding percentage. So let's start off with that lineup, and tell us about some of those top bats that you have.
Well, it all starts with the first two guys, Lipsy and Dewar, both new guys, one junior college, one a transfer, Dewar's from TCU. Both of those guys have really set the tone for us. Their on-base percentages are very high, which leads to pitchers in the stretch, guys getting better pitches below them. So we've been able to drive in some runs in the last couple of games, but overall we've been able to drive in some runs and via the home run as well. And then the two bright spots of the offense have been Pat Ward, who's been with us for a couple of years. He's hitting about 320. And John Martinez is a new transfer from the University of Florida. He's got 11 doubles, a triple, and a home run. I think he leads the team in total extra bases. So I've been impressed with those two and what they could do. And then we've had some other guys chip in. Jake Millen's chipped in. John Schroeder, who is getting hotter, got off to a really, really tough start to the season, whether it be just senior, trying to do too much. I'm not sure. But he's hit a home run, I think, in every game in the last last week or so. So, now we got to get some of these other guys going,
Shifting over and tell us about your rotation. Like I mentioned, the team ERA is just a little over 4, which, as you know, in college baseball is not bad. But tell us about some of those pieces, starting with your weekend 3.
Well, this is the best rotation we've had in a number of years. Beard, Murphy, James Lippman, and then Zach Kilby throws on, Tuesday, Wednesday. He'll throw tonight. Beard is phenomenal. He's got to be one of the better guys in the country. If you just look at the numbers, he's left-handed, 90-93. Changeup is a true weapon. Breaking ball's pretty good. And then Murphy, we converted him from a shortstop his senior year of high school, and he's just getting better and better each time out. The fastball is really good, up to 97, but the breaking stuff, the breaking pitch, and the changeup are getting better each and every time out. And then James Lippman is a freshman. He's a local kid. He's been phenomenal. The other guys have been really good, but he's been phenomenal. He's been everything we thought he was going to be and more. Ever since he got on campus late summer, there's been no hiccups, not one hiccup whatsoever, in the weight room, in the classroom, on the field, on the mound. It's been impressive. And then the bullpen guys have been good. Bollinger's been good. Andrews has been good. Ostrander's been good. Carter Holgis has been good. We have some ability to do some lefts and rights. So this is as complete a pitching staff as we've had, and we're still missing two guys from it. So might have a chance to get a little bit better as we go forward.
That certainly sounds familiar. Unfortunately, with East Carolina, Brett Antolik and Ryan Towers have been missing, two guys that were expected to be, at the very least, key arms, if not
Sure.
contending for weekend starting roles. But one of the things that stood out to me about that series with UTSA, you led after 5 innings on Friday, you led after 6 on Saturday and Sunday, but we're just not able to close it out in any of those instances. So, what were some of the takeaways, from that series in that regard?
We got to be tougher. I know it's a cliche. Um, you know, Friday night we had scored. No, Saturday we had scored, and then didn't do it. We had scored early and didn't do anything. Sunday we kind of chipped away at it here and there. Um, but later in the game, in all three games, we had an opportunity to extend the lead. We didn't do it. And then, on Friday, we dropped a fly ball in left field. It wasn't an easy play, but if you want to be a championship team, you got to make that play. On Saturday, we kind of buffed a bunt play, a little bit of miscommunication. Third baseman thought he was going to first. Shortstop pitcher thought he was going to third. So that hurt us. And then, Sunday, give credit to them. They have some non-conventional arms that kind of you don't see all the time, and they do a really good job. I think their UTSA is really coached, and anybody who has to play them is in for a tough weekend. They're well coached. They don't give in at the plate. The pitchers know exactly their roles, and they play phenomenal defense.
East Carolina certainly found that out last season, when we went to San Antonio, the Roadrunners took that series. But the final thing for you, Coach, or your final couple things here. First of all, as I mentioned in the lead-in, you've been there in Boca Raton for 35 seasons now between your time as an assistant and as a head coach. So you've been very
Yes.
blessed to do what you love in one spot where you have a lot of talent around you to draw from, and but you oversaw the program's transition from D2 to D1, and then my final question
God, that was a
on
long
this
time
top.
ago.
Yes, sir. But back in 1999, that team had a 34-game win streak, just remarkable in college baseball to accomplish that
It's
and
unbelievable. Yeah.
finish, or not finish, but I guess after that win streak was 40-1, if I'm not mistaken. So, what are your
Correct.
memories of that season?
The memory was, and like it all, are the guys. That team was a special team, and they're still. I see all those guys all the time. A lot of them live around here. They get together all the time. They come to games. We honored them last year on the 25th anniversary, but I've become personal friends with a lot of them. The competitiveness of the whole group and the individual group is what I remember the most. I mean, the winning streak, truth be told, we didn't even realize it until we were about 25 games in. Um, didn't even realize it until someone had told us we just broke a state of Florida record. And then each subsequent win, more people got involved. And then I remember the Washington Post called about the streak. And I was like, what? Washington Post? That they're supposed to cover political stuff. Um, but it was a really fun time, and for everybody involved, and it was a great time in FAU history, and we certainly still talk about it a lot. It was the best team I've ever been around.
And One more thing, with you
Sure.
traveling to Clark LeClaire Stadium, what are your thoughts on Cliff Godwin's ball club? What you know, clearly a
Well, he
lot of
hadn't.
success for the program in recent years, but this team specifically.
Well, I think this team is getting ready to really take off. Right. I know they had some early season kind of miscues. Cliff is a phenomenal coach. He's got a great staff. The support at um, East Carolina is amazing, both institutional and external. The fans are great. I've never played there, so we're certainly looking forward to it. I've heard great things about it. I've heard great things about the fans, that they are very passionate and they love their Pirates. So we're looking forward to it. Ben Sanderson, who played there and then coached there, worked for me for 4 years, and he always talked about East Carolina in the greatest of admiration and loves it. And so I'm looking forward to it.
Really appreciate the time in the chat, Coach. Safe travels to you and the Owls on your way to Greenville, and best of luck, throughout the season. And congratulations on a very excellent career thus far.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and thank you for what you're doing for college baseball. Certainly appreciate it, and look forward to catching up again if you need it. Okay.
Absolutely. That'll do it for this edition of On Deck as we get you ready for the 3-game series between East Carolina and Florida Atlantic this weekend at Clark LeClaire Stadium. The Pirates and Owls will square off at 6 on Friday, 4 on Saturday, and the series finale will be at 1 on Sunday. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, like and follow on Facebook, X, Instagram, and Spotify. On X, Instagram, and YouTube, we are at Jungle Tales Pod. You can email the show at jungletalespod@gmail.com. Join us on Sunday night for This Week in Pirate Baseball as former Pirate pitcher John White and I will take a look back at the Pirates' 5-game week that features games against UNCW, Elon, and Florida Atlantic. We'll talk to you soon here on Jungle Tales, and as always, go Pirates.